And something like that might absolutely energize and recharge you. And for me, it energizes me while I'm there, but then it's no vacation for me. Being an introvert, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of effort. So it's energizing, but it's not recharging.
When I first started working out of my house, and the way it kind of worked for me is I worked out of my house for a few years. I got an office for several years, and I've since returned to working in my house. But when I first started working in my house, I was always worried that I would have too much temptation, that I would just never get to work, wouldn't feel like doing anything. You can eat all the time, you can watch TV or do whatever it is that you're lounging around your house doing. What I found is that I ended up working too much. I was working from the time I got up till 2 or 3 a.m., and that's actually one of the reasons that I got an office, so I could shut that down. Have you had that same kind of experience with your working? You've had various offices, stores, you've worked from home.
I do. I find that I definitely like to work from home better, but I do work more because it's a better environment for me, and I'm not really distracted by things. So, but how do you find that you said you went to an office because you were working too much? So now that you're back at home, how do you find the balance now?
Well, the thing about the office that I didn't like, and this was 3 blocks away from my house. That's where my first office was. So I live in an urban area, always have, and I would walk 3 blocks, go to my office, and I just found it felt too much like work to me. And that's part of that work-life balance. We like it to feel like it's fun. So how do I find the balance? I don't know. I think it just comes from experience. I think it comes from knowing how I feel and monitoring how I feel. And sometimes, as you mentioned, you're going to work more. But a lot of times I'm finding now is that I'm probably working a lot less than I used to. I think it has to do with age and experience.
Well, I think you learn these things over time, and you've learned how to plan breaks, build in time to recharge, and do things like that over the years. So it's probably not as hard for you as it was when you were working from home years ago.
Well, part of it, if we're going to talk optimization, I think the longer you're in business, you just get better at knowing what makes money and knowing what gets results. So where it used to take me, let's say, 10 or 12 hours a day to get 8 hours of results, we'll call it, I might be able to do that in 4 hours now.
That's what I've found in my life, and that's been the biggest thing, is I've just basically cut the fat out. Is I used to do just everything, and I'd wake up and I'd start working and I'd go to bed late, and I'd been working all day, and it just seemed like the work would never end. But that's what I've done, is like cut out the fat, just work on the things that make me money, that are important, outsource other things, deal with other things that aren't important later. And it just optimizes your day in a good way. And it makes the work-life balance just a lot easier, but you get the same or better results.
Well, I want to talk again about optimization. They've done studies. These are corporate companies that will give their employees 2 hours for a lunch break instead of 1. And here's the condition. They've got to spend 1 of those hours in the gym. They've found that even with 1 less quote-unquote work hour, if they go and do physical exercise, the people are more effective than they would have been. I feel like I've found that as well. There was definitely a time when I think maybe I was too productive. I was looking to outsource everything that I could. I was looking to work as much as possible. These days, you know what I really like? Well, you know this because you live with me. But people are amazed. We've talked about it here before. I do my own lawn. I like mowing the lawn because it's that forced downtime. And having that with a little bit of physical energy, you actually are going to be more productive because of it.
And we have a really great lawn, David.
Yeah, well, I'm like Hank Hill of Nashville. I'm out there with the sod. I want to overseed it.
I think it's a good break for you to be able to do something else for a minute. It's like taking a shower, but not as relaxing.
Well, it's like me scheduling a massage. It's forced downtime. A lot of times I'm like, oh, damn it, I can't do the massage today. But I do it, and it's always better than when I don't. And I put that on my schedule. Same with a lawn. A lawn is going to grow. So you got to get out there or your neighbors are going to get agitated. You're going to look like you're in a bad house. So that forces it.
And we have friends, David, that told us when their kids were young that they would fight over who got to mow their huge lawn because it was just downtime that they didn't have to deal with the kids. So they would just bicker about who got to do that. So fortunately, I don't argue with you over mowing the lawn because I don't want to mow it.
Right. Well, you've got your other things that you do. And I want to talk about those friends that you're mentioning. Those are non-work friends. Those are people that are not involved in our industry at all. I think that's another thing to work-life balance, to get away from the people that are like coming from the entertainment background. You are going out all the time. You're going out to shows. You're in the entertainment business. So that work-life balance gets really, really muddy, and you start to hang out and enjoy things with work people. I think stepping away from that, not that you shouldn't like the people that you work with, but stepping away from that and having completely non-work friends is very, very beneficial.
And again, scheduling it in. I mean, that's been the biggest thing for me to have work-life balance is to schedule these things in. Schedule the time with friends, schedule vacations, schedule times to stop working or to start working. And those things really help me stay on track for what I need to do and keeping that downtime and work time in check.
You know, something that affects us, I'm sure it affects other people listening to Red Podcast. And that's because we're in a relationship other than our business relationship, keeping the business balance of that. I think this is worth ending the podcast on today, is that we have certain rules set up. No business in the bedroom.
No work-related business discussed in the bedroom.
Not at all.
I'll just say it that way.
Yeah.
Bedroom is for other business.
Other business, that's fine.
Like sleeping.
Yes, absolutely. We also have what I call a reset switch. We try to do this very often, especially in the spring, summer, fall months. I like to go walking with you at the end of the day just to get us out of the environment that we've been in all day. Even if we're talking about business, we're in a different environment, we're doing something physical, and it's easier to kind of discuss some of those things, like how was your day? And of course, business and that thing is going to come up.
That's really been the most helpful thing to kind of get out everything. It's just when you're walking, you're moving and thinking. And there's something to that. That's why I love to hike. It's because you're thinking and moving. It feels like you're making progress physically. I mean, you are making progress physically, so it feels like you're making progress mentally. So that's one of the biggest things that I think is effective for us.
Yeah, so if you're working with a spouse or significant other and you're looking for a great reset switch, that's something that I would absolutely recommend. I would also recommend setting up those rules, maybe no business at dinner time or when you're having meals, no business in the bedroom. That's a good one that Laurel and I enjoy.
I like it. And don't check your email on your phone like all during dinner or when you're trying to be at home with your family or your kids or just segment it. I mean, that's the ultimate thing you have to do. Don't be in that gray area that you talked about, David.
Yeah. I had my phone at dinner earlier this week, I think, or last week, and you're like, "Why'd you bring your phone out here?" And
did I say that?
Yeah, I
you
don't.
make me sound so mean.
No, well, I don't even know because I don't check my phone during dinner, and I don't take calls. Certainly, I think I was just carrying it at the time I walked out.
I'm sure it was more like, "Hey, David, what are you doing?" Instead of like, "Put it away."
Laurel is very, very tactful. All right, let's talk about Nick Loper here. Side Hustle Nation, if you are looking to get more optimization, let's call it that, in your side business that you're starting, you want to eventually go full-time, Nick Loper is the man to listen to, the man to read. He's at sidehustlenation.com. We've got some great stuff that we're going to give away, courtesy of Nick Loper. The first one, we've been giving these things away all month, and I love them. Blinkist subscriptions.
Blinkist. I love Blinkist. Can't get enough.
It's like Cliff Notes. If you want to read a new book, but you think, hey, I don't have time because I'm a kind of guy who likes to optimize, or I want to read 5 books tonight, this is the way to do it. They are book summaries, and they are excellent. 7-10 minutes, you get all the big ideas. And here is a trial subscription for Jason Edwards,
Jason, congratulations.
Jason, congratulations. Email us at hello@redpodcast.com. We'll get that set up for you. I've got another book that I mentioned, and that is Power of Full Engagement. It is about what we are talking about to the T, the power of full engagement. It will keep you either working or having fun, but being fully engaged, whatever you do. And for that one, Laurel,
Yeah,
I'll
you've
give that
got the
to
list.
Nancy Hilgert.
Nancy, congratulations. That's a great book.
It's a good book. One of my favorites, Power of Full Engagement. We'll have all these in the show notes at redpodcast.com/29. Laurel, thank you, and I will
Thanks,
see
David.
you on the next episode.
Awesome.
You've been listening to Red Podcast, Real Entrepreneur Development. Subscribe today using iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS at redpodcast.com.